Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. The Washi Tape Shop recently sent me some of their new designs, so I wanted to show you those. And I will be making some cards later on in the video using one of the new rolls. And if you're shopping at the Washi Tape Shop, make sure to use my code KristieM10 to save 10% off your order. Up first is a washi paper sticker set called Cozy Mornings. There are 4 sheets in this set. And they come inside this cute translucent paper envelope. So I'll pull out all 4 sheets so you can see what's included. Super cute designs. There's video games, dolls, cameras, plants, presents. I love the little girl with the bunnies by her feet. Very sweet. And these are stickers, so no fussy cutting required. And if you're interested in any of the products I show in this video, I will have links in the description box below. Up next is the pre-cut Heritage Snippets Script Tape Set. Now this does come as a set. You cannot buy the rolls individually. Each roll includes about 5 meters. All the designs are pre-cut, so you simply peel them up. Now the material is different than typical washi tape. It's called script tape. And according to the Washi Tape Shop's website, it has the versatility of washi tape, but a specialized matte surface. It's designed to absorb ink quickly, so you could use these in journals and write on them. I really like the variety of shapes and patterns, and I think it has a very retro look to it. The next set you can purchase as a bundle or individually. The bundle is called Pre-Cut Eden's Garden Bundle. And these are available in both the washi and PET tape styles. I'm showing you the washi tape, and if you don't know what PET tape is, it's basically a clear plastic tape. The first one I'm showing you is Pre-Cut Eden's Gallery. It includes lots of beautiful flowers. I love these little colored spots. They're stripe pieces. And the little ribbon frames are super cute. Each roll is about 5 meters long, and the designs start to loop around 100 centimeters. So there are tons of different designs on each roll. And these are pre-cut, so you simply peel them up and place them on your project. The other roll in the bundle is Pre-Cut Eden's Garden, and again, I have the washi tape version. More beautiful flowers and also some animal and outdoor scenes. The next roll is Pre-Cut Petal Post, and I have the washi tape version. It's also available in PET tape. This roll is about 5 meters long, and the designs start to loop around 100 centimeters. So many beautiful florals, and it also includes quite a few sentiments. And I like that everything is pre-cut. The next roll is the one I'm making cards with. It's called Pre-Cut Misty Blush, and I have the washi tape version. This does come as a bundle, but I only have the one roll. The other roll that's included in the bundle is called Pre-Cut Misty Breeze. But you can also purchase each of the designs individually. Just like the others, this one is 5 meters long, and the designs start to loop around 100 centimeters. Next up is another bundle called Pre-Cut Aurora House Bundle. It's available as a bundle, or you can purchase each of the rolls individually. The first one I'm showing you is Pre-Cut Aurora House. And the other roll is called Pre-Cut Bloom House. Each roll is 5 meters long, and the designs start to repeat around 100 centimeters. So there's a look at some new designs from the Washi Tape Shop. And I'll be using the Pre-Cut Misty Blush washi tape. For pattern paper, I pulled out Craft Consortium's Grunge Mid-Tones paper pad. For our sentiment, I'm using Gina K Designs Essential Greetings. I have the stamps and dies. And the shape dies are from Pretty Pink Posh. It's their stitched torn rectangle dies. I used the largest size torn rectangle die on this purplish pink pattern paper. I want the look of twine wrapping around this panel, but I want to keep it fairly flat. So instead of using twine, I pulled out Love from Lizzie's peel-offs. This is the pinstripe style in clear with silver overlay, so it's super shiny. I'll be covering up the very center of this panel, so I don't need a strip going all the way across. This is always the great time to use some of those small scrap pieces. And instead of the look of that twine or peel-offs going straight across this panel, I'm adding them at different angles. I'll put 3 pieces on each side. Now I'll wrap the ends around the back, put ATG tape on the back of this panel, and also some Barely Art glue, especially around that stitched detail on the outside edge. Then I'll layer it on some purple cardstock. The purple cardstock piece is A2 size, 5.5 inches by 4.25 inches. When die cuts have that faux stitch detail along the outside edge, sometimes it won't lay flat with just ATG tape, so I like to use both adhesives. Now I'll put more ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. All of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size. Using the next size down torn rectangle die, I cut it out of white cardstock, and I've already stamped the sentiment hello in the lower right hand corner. I'll put glue on the back, adhere it on the center of the card. Before the glue dries completely, I'll make sure the sentiment is on nice and straight. Now I'll add some of the washi tape images, and I fell in love with all the beautiful pink blooming trees on the Misty blush roll. I selected one of the larger trees, and it even has a little swing hanging off one of the branches. I'll add this image on the left side. And I also cut out this little grouping of pink flowers. It is one piece, but I want to put some below the sentiment and more in the lower left-hand corner. So I will cut out a few of the flowers. I'll put the smaller bunch on the left side and the group of 4 flowers underneath the sentiment. Overall, this is a very simple card design. But I love that it's easy to make multiples, since you can usually get about 4 of the same images on most of the Washi Tape Shop's rolls. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. Now moving on to card design number 2, using more of the pattern paper from Craft Consortium. This design is more of a pinkish color. The pattern paper background piece is 4 inches by 5.25 inches, and I'm layering it on some berry colored cardstock. That cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. But before I layer it, I'm adding Love from Lizzie peel-offs. This is the pinstripe style in white. I'm using the widest and the medium width. And since I'm covering up the very center of the card with a large banner, I'm able to use some of those small scrap pieces. This is why you never throw them away. Sometimes all you need is a tiny bit. I'll wrap the ends around the back. Now layer this piece on the berry cardstock color. Put more adhesive on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Next, I'll add the large cardstock banner. And this piece is 3 1/8 of an inch by 4.5 inches. And I simply cut the fishtail on the bottom, put adhesive on the back, adhere it at the top of the card centered. Now I'll add a stitched oval die cut, and I cut it out from white cardstock. When using washi tape, if you want that image or sentiment to really blend into the background, white cardstock works very well. But I also like to use colored cardstock, and you will see the difference on another card later on in the video. I selected another beautiful pink blossom tree, and I'll add that image inside the oval. I've already stamped and cut out the sentiment, thinking of you. And using the outline die, I cut out another layer just to add a little extra stability since the pink cardstock was fairly thin. I'm adding the sentiment at the bottom of the oval. Part of it will sit on the oval, so in the areas on the right and left side, I'll add a scrap piece of cardstock, and that'll help it stay at the same level. And instead of cutting those small pieces, I simply used the die and then just trimmed out the right and left end. I used the same white cardstock weight I used for the oval for those scrap pieces. That way I knew it would be at the exact same level. After adhering the scrap cardstock pieces down, I'll put glue on the back and adhere the sentiment in place, trying to make sure to get it on nice and straight. For embellishments, I'm using more Love from Lizzie peel-offs, this time the mini circle style in white. I'll put 2 in the upper left-hand corner and 3 around the sentiment on the right side. So there is my finished card, and again, I did make 2 using this design. And if you haven't caught on yet, I'll be using all 5 of the beautiful pink blossom trees on the washi tape set. For card design number 3, I cut out 2 panels using a brand new set from Pretty Pink Posh. It's called Rounded Stitched Rectangles. It's included in their May 2026 release. Definitely check out their release, it's super cute. I cut out the larger one from some pink iridescent cardstock from my stash. And the smaller one, I use more of the Craft Consortium pattern paper. I'll adhere the 2 rectangles together. Now I'll put adhesive on the back, layer this piece on some white shimmer cardstock, and that piece is A2 size. And I'm doing the double adhesive again, ATG tape, and barely art glue. Once I get this panel centered on the white shimmer cardstock, I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. With the iridescent cardstock and white shimmer for the very background border, this card has lots of shimmer and shine. Using one of the smaller rounded rectangle dies, I cut it out of a light pink cardstock. And this card will feature one of the smaller pink blossom trees. The washi tape still works just fine on this light pink. I think as long as you stick with lighter colored cardstock colors, you'll have that nice blend into the background look. I am popping up the image panel. I use a 1mm black foam. I'll remove the release paper and add it on the card a little bit higher, leaving space underneath for the sentiment. For this card, I'll also use the Thinking of You sentiment. I use white cardstock and brown ink, and then with the outline die, I cut out another one from the same iridescent cardstock. I'll layer the 2 together, offsetting them slightly so you can see some of that beautiful iridescent cardstock underneath the sentiment. I am popping it up using foam dimension. This time I grabbed the small foam squares from scrapbook.com in the 1mm thickness. I'll remove the release paper and add the sentiment underneath the tree image. For embellishments, I'm using more white circle peel-offs from Love from Lizzie. I'll put 3 in the upper left-hand corner and 2 underneath the sentiment on the right side. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. I love the beautiful shine from the iridescent cardstock. For card design number 4, I am using a card sketch for inspiration. It's from Cards TV, sketch number 82. And if you're interested in this sketch, including measurements, I share that on my coordinating blog post. The link is in the description box below, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. The pattern paper is from the Craft Consortium collection. Now I am changing up the sketch just a little bit. I added a very narrow black border behind the pattern paper piece. I think it really helps it stand out. I used blue cardstock for the strip going across the card. And for that very background layer, I did cut it a little bit smaller so you could see some of the white cardstock border. So that background berry colored cardstock is 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. I'm also using a larger circle. The sketch calls for 2-inch, but I wanted it large enough to fit another beautiful tree image. So my circle has a 2.5-inch diameter. For a sentiment, I stamped just a note. I used white cardstock and black ink. And I am layering it on some black cardstock so it'll tie in with the other black cardstock layer and also the embellishments once I add those. I'll add the sentiment down first. That way I can get the placement of the circle correct. I'm not adding any foam dimension for this card. It's always good to have a few sets on hand that you don't need to pay additional postage when mailing. For the 3 banners in the upper right-hand corner, the purplish one is more pattern paper from the Craft Consortium collection. The blue is the same color I use for the strip going across the card, and then I'm adding a light pink for that smallest banner. I'll cut a fishtail on each of the pieces. Adhere the 2 larger banners down first, and then the light pink one will go on top. And when adhering the 3 banners down, I'm making sure the top edge of them is flush with the edge of the pattern paper. Just have the small pink banner to add, and I'll make sure it's on nice and straight. For embellishments, using more Love from Lizzie peel-offs, this time the mini circles in black. And I'm placing them in the same area as indicated on the card sketch. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 5, I'm switching pattern paper. This time I'm using a collection from Art Impressions. It's the basic pink paper pack. And I'm not sure if either of the paper collections I'm using are still available. If they are, I will have links in the description box below. For this card, I'm also using a card sketch from Cards TV. It's sketch number 2. I love this sketch. It's perfect for featuring several different pattern papers. So I selected 4 from the Art Impressions collection. And I'm adding them on some white cardstock that has a slight linen texture finish on it. I selected 2 polka dot designs, a gingham and plaid. And I'm putting the similar designs diagonal from each other. When adding the 4 pieces, I'm focusing more on getting the outside edges to look like they're even. If you don't get that center area with the 4 pieces lined up perfectly, it's fine. It will be covered up with an image. Now I'll layer this piece on some purple cardstock. Put adhesive on the back and add my card front onto a card base. The purple cardstock has a pearlescent finish on one side, but it's the non-pearlescent side that matched better with the pattern paper. I'm adding the washi tape image on some white pearlescent cardstock that has this gorgeous embossed detail. I wasn't sure if the washi tape would take on that embossed detail, but the embossing is very subtle, so when I added this lovely tree image, it's still nice and smooth. I did cut out a larger image panel so it would fit this beautiful tree. It's 2 3/4 of an inch by 2 7/8 of an inch, and the purple cardstock layer is 3 inches by 3 1/8 of an inch. I am popping up the image using some foam tape. This is from scrapbook.com. It's their 1/4 inch foam in the 1 millimeter thickness. I'll add 1 strip along the outside edge and a few in the center, give it more stability. And I'll remove the release paper and add the sentiment toward the top of the card. The pattern paper matches beautifully with this tree image. For a sentiment, I've already stamped out Thinking of You, and I'll layer it on the same purple cardstock. I like that the Gina K sentiment set includes coordinating dies, but the sentiments also work perfectly for a sentiment strip. I'm also popping it up using the 1 millimeter foam. I'll add 2 strips, then remove the release paper and add the sentiment underneath the tree. Make sure to get that on nice and straight before pushing it down. For embellishments, I'm adding 2 small pink hearts, 1 on each side of the sentiment. And these are more Love from Lizzie peel-offs. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. So those first 5 card designs featured 5 of the beautiful pink blossom tree images on the washi tape roll. Here's another look at the 10 cards, and I really like how these turned out. You can never go wrong using beautiful pink blossoming trees. Now the same Misty blush washi tape roll also includes a few church images. So I thought I would do some quick and simple cards that I'll give to my church. The sentiment set I use for both card designs is from Dare to Be Artsy. It's the Grace is Enough set. And I really like all the different sentiments included on this set. I mentioned earlier you can usually get 4 of the same images, but I was wrong on this roll. There were 5 of each image, so it was easy to make multiples of the same card. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.